Okay, so now we're going to look at how I created the main lead part of the track. I did this using plastics. I got this the other week from a guy on eBay. He was very good to me and gave me it for even cheaper than what it was going up for. This is actually quite good. Because it was cheap, I bought it, to be honest with you. I only buy software if I can get it cheap, through Audio MIDI for no-brainer deals, all of that sort of stuff. So I just thought, I've heard quite a lot about it, so I'll just buy it and we'll go from there. So what I did was I just created a actual MIDI track that goes through, and I'll just press play that now. And this fits perfectly with the overall track, so I'm not showing you anything different to what I actually did at the time. Again, just as I did with Blue on the bass, I've chosen a preset. And what I've done is I've basically messed around with the sound just as it's playing in exactly the same way. So I've changed the oscillator, so on and so forth, and we'll just do that. And then it's just a case of going through the envelopes and making some changes. Now, as you can see, I've also got an effects section, which has quite a lot of effects in it. Now what I did was I'm nearly sure I used the chorus for this. So I just press play again. And basically I just went straight through until I found the patch for the track that I was looking for. I haven't got that. I then started playing about with the parameters on plastics itself. Now there's a reason for that, and I would advise everybody to do this if they can when they're creating sounds. Play around with the envelopes, because at a later date during the actual track itself, we're going to use them to create automation so that we can change the sound. Remember, our brains get very easy in listening to something, and it starts to tune out once we've heard the same thing over and over again. So if we make subtle changes via automation, then basically it'll work. So again, we just press play and just mess around with the things and just take a note of the different areas that change the sound. And we'll just do that now. And we can hear the release in the amp envelope's done a really big job of moving there. You might want to change the effects mix. Right, want to change the cutoff. And it's just a case of going through. Once you've got your actual sound and saved it, you can go back to it. So it doesn't mean to say that you can't mess around with all of these different things. I've taken a note of them all on paper, so I know exactly which area I want to look at. And when we go to the automation section, I'll show you exactly how I automated all of these different sounds to give me something different, especially in breakdowns. Okay, so the pad sound again, I use Blue. Really like the rhythmic sounds in Blue. Usually tend to go with the presets, but I usually mess around with them a wee bit because obviously I don't want them to clash with anything. Now, one thing that I found, which we'll look at later, is that the bass really clashed with this sound, but I really wanted to have the sound in the actual track itself. So we'll just play it for you now. So that fitted perfectly with the overall sound and the lead sound that I got from Plastic, so I wanted to keep it, but I found that in the mid-range it really clashed with my bass sound, and I'm really passionate about bass, so my bass needs to fit. So we went with the pad sound as it stood and used everything as a guide track, and that took me on then to the arrangement, which is in the next video itself.